welcome to a brand new week, Mzansi. This is Afternoon Express. I'm Palisa Tembe, and today we're speaking to various experts about whether South Africa is prepared for a mental health crisis in the workplace and how we can adapt to the new normal as we re-enter to work. And today is also World Oceans Day, and this is when we see people around the world honor and celebrate the oceans that connect us all. It was established in 1992 to unite and rally the planet to connect and restore our shared ocean. What a worthy cause. I'm so excited for all of us to be using that hashtag Afternoon Express as we celebrate our oceans. But let's find out what's cooking in the kitchen, ladies.
It was a lovely weekend I had, and now I hope you did too. And I'm glad to be back at work today because we have a delicious ravioli recipe today.
Oh, bellissimo. And I'm going to make pasta and show everybody how to make it. This excites me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you look very excited. And if you're just as excited as Anel, then please go onto the website and get the recipe details and join us for this cook-along.
Unprecedented challenges call for incredible bravery. Countless doctors, nurses and pharmacists are working around the clock to keep us safe. They go beyond the call of duty and selflessly put the needs of our communities first. Nominate the brave healthcare professionals on the front line and give them the recognition they deserve. Because the only curve we don't want to flatten is the heartbeat of our beloved South Africa.
A few weeks ago, Adcock Ingram OTC launched Sponsors of Brave, a campaign in celebrating and sharing the stories of pharmacists and healthcare professionals who've gone above and beyond the day-to-day call of duty. Never before has praising these incredible healthcare professionals been more important. Today we meet one of the nominees inspiring his community. Nestled in the town of Umtata, orthotist and prosthetist Ncedo Ludata found his calling in helping to improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. This prompted him to establish a life-changing initiative, the Ludata and Associates Orthopedic Services. The Sponsors of Brave nominee, Ncedo Ludata. Hi, Ncedo, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Congratulations for being nominated as one of these great healthcare professionals doing their part in the community. How does this feel?
Thank you very much for that. I'm kind of processing it. I think I'm grateful first for the opportunity to be considered. Sometimes in the entrepreneurship space, it's a lonely space where you're having your own dreams and you're seeing things that most people don't see. So when you actually get a recognition, it kind of tells you that you're in the right direction. So I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And so is your community grateful for you. And we have an amazing, heartfelt video from Sponsors of Brave. Let's take a look.
His name is Ncedo. It means help. And he goes an extra mile. If a patient has difficulty coming from the taxi rank, he will take his car and go pick up the patient.
Ndandihlala ngendlu, ndandingakwazi nophuma, ndandingakwazi nokwenza kwanto. Kwakunzima kakhulu.
Every time I come to work, I see amputees without limbs, and they cannot afford those limbs. So to me, it's more about creating change.
Wandisithela ke Mr. Ludata, wandinika umlenze wokuqala wokutrena ukuba ndikwazi uhamba, waphinda wabuya wazondinika umlenze wesibini kuba ndisakwazi ukuhamba ke ngolo mlenze wesibini ndihamba kakuhle andinangxaki.
Prosthetic devices are very expensive, but he was able to provide a free device for the patient.
We received a grant of 500,000. Around 60 amputees were fitted with prosthetic limbs. At the same time, it was teaching students to do the actual work in the community.
Ndenza umlenze, ndatsho ndakwazi usebenza, ndatsho ndakwazi nokuyela esikolweni, ndatsho ndakwazi nohamba.
Being an orthotist and a prosthetist is amazing with the students and interns that come to the practice.
Our students are in love with the profession and they really need someone that they can look up to.
He is a great inspiration to me. Now I am able to face challenges head on. He taught me a lot of things about the field.
He's inspired me to think differently about the work that we do. Whatever he does, he wants to see at the end that the patient's life is changed.
Ndiyasebenza yonke into ndiyayenza ngalo mlenze ndawufumana kumr Dada. Ndenza yonke into ayitibile.
Ngibona umuntu onenhliziyo enhle, ukwazi ukukhathalela abantu, engacingeli isiqu sakhe qha, ukwazi yena uhoya abantu.
Looking at the situation in Umtata, I realized it can never be about me. I was put in this position to be an agent for change in my community.
He's always thinking of bigger things. Having someone say, one day we'll be running a rehab center, that's being brave.
If I'm telling you 1 in 10 have access to these services, I can assure you the 9 are my people in my area. We cannot just sit and say they cannot pay. Our people can have access to quality assistive devices regardless of their income or their geographical location.
Wow, Dr. Lutata, that is truly amazing. Now, how did you get started in the specific field of healthcare?
To be honest, I had no knowledge of the field before I joined the field. I was fortunate enough to be recruited by the Department of Health. They're looking for young guys who were interested in the field. Were recruited to study in Tanzania by the Department of Health. So I went to study the profession in Tanzania for 4 years. That's how I came about to the field, and I came back. I served in the Department of Health, Free Hospital, East London, for 4 years. So that's how I came about to the profession. The profession found me.
Oh, wow. And then you answered that calling. So, Dr. Lutata, being the disruptor that you are in the community and the farm boy you're proud to be, what does this mean to you and your team, and more importantly, the people of Umtata?
To me, as an individual, I think it kind of gives me that signal that I'm not really crazy after all. What I'm after is something which is really needed for the community. So it kind of gives you that pep talk to say you're in the right direction. As for my team, I feel as if they really appreciate the initiative, and I think they are also looking forward to what it's going to yield, because in terms of where we want to go, we're still far, but this could be a great opportunity for us to actually have a sustainable service in Umtata. So it's really exciting times. For the people of Umtata, it just brings a service that they don't really have. For them to get this service, it means they need to travel for more than 200 kilometers to source it in East London, which is not really viable, and it's also not ideal. Remember, people with disabilities, they have their own limitations. So to be traveling long distances to source a basic service like that, it's not really ideal. So it opens up a very important service for the people of Umtata. So it's something that we're really looking forward to.
We thank you for your initiative and having that creative eye to go above and beyond serving the people of Umtata and making the difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, guys.
Goodbye, Neto.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Now remember, you can also join in this incredible campaign by nominating the pharmacist, healthcare professional, or worker in your community, making a real difference, especially during COVID-19. And you can stand a chance to win 5,000 Rand. 2 healthcare winners will be selected from your nominations, one chosen by a judging panel and the other through your votes. The 2 healthcare professionals that will be selected will win a trip to an overseas medical conference of their choice and be given the opportunity to pay it forward by donating 25,000 Rand to their favorite charity. Visit afternoonexpress.co.za for information on how you can nominate the healthcare professional doing incredible things in your community today. The curve we don't want to flatten is the heartbeat of our beloved South Africa. Be brave.
Unprecedented challenges call for incredible bravery. Countless doctors, nurses and pharmacists are working around the clock to keep us safe. They go beyond the call of duty and selflessly put the needs of our communities first. Nominate the brave healthcare professionals on the front line and give them the recognition they deserve. Because the only curve we don't want to flatten is the heartbeat of our beloved South Africa.
Ncedo Lutata doing incredible work there. All the best to all of the healthcare professionals that are nominated for the Sponsors of Brave campaign. We're holding our thumbs and hoping that the best comes out as a winner. Now, we have asked you on social media, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, mentally, physically and emotionally, how ready are you to re-enter the workplace? And we've got Untabi here, and Untabi says 1. Alone and missing my family and friends. Well, you know, Ntabi, I just want to thank you for joining Afternoon Express because we can be that family and friends that you're so desperately looking for. Olese uti, a scale of 8 because I am very happy that I'll put a meal on a table, but also anxious and afraid for my life. Hashtag Afternoon Express. I think a lot of people are holding the same sentiment, being anxious and nervous of being infected by COVID-19, but at the same breath, they need to put food on that table. So keep the comments coming and use that hashtag Afternoon Express. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdowns have had a significant impact on the print industry. So coming up, we connect with the incredible editor-in-chief of Glamour magazine, Nontando Mposo, to find out how they have weathered the storm. With only just 7 months at the helm as editor-in-chief of Glamour SA, Nontando Mposo is already noticeably adding her unique touch and changing the face of the magazine one issue at a time. The future of the print and publication industry hangs in the balance, however, due to the effects of the national lockdown. To put things into perspective, Nontando joins me now. Welcome to the Loft, Nontando.
Thank you for having me, Faye. How are you?
I'm good, girl. I celebrate you. I salute you. We are seeing Black Girl Magic in full effect here. Congratulations on your new appointment.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Now, your journey has been a long one. You first studied architecture through DUT, you know, Home eThekwini, and you were a trailblazer there through the print industry now we're seeing. So talk me through about some of the changes that came about from architecture now to print.
Well, architecture remains my very close industry or passion that I'm still very much passionate about. I'm still a big fan of architectural photography and design as a whole. But literature, English, writing has always been my first love. I mean, in high school, I entered a lot of poetry competitions. I won some. And my mom used to be a library assistant. So I spent a lot of time in the library reading, writing, and just getting inspired by words. So I think it was only natural that I progressed towards this industry.
You've had a long HR journey to editor-in-chief. Briefly chat to me about this experience.
My future or my path in the industry started as an intern in independent media. This was when I did a year-long internship with independent media. And so from there, they took us on. There was a group of us, and I started writing for the Cape Argus, the Cape Times, and literally like most of the titles in independent media. And I progressed to become a lifestyle writer, a lifestyle editor, and yeah, here I am now. So it's been quite a big journey within the industry itself.
Now we're under lockdown, so a lot of us have to work from home. We don't have the luxury of our offices where we can escape the babies that need our attention. And now we have to, adapt to this new normal. So how are you coping in this new space?
I just started my tenure as an editor-in-chief in Glamour when the whole epidemic actually reached our shores. So just when I was finding my feet on my second issue, and then suddenly, there was hard lockdown. We all had to pack up. We all had to begin working from home. And I don't think anybody kind of planned or saw this coming, but we've all just adjusted. I have an incredible team that I work with. It's basically been about adapt or die.
I want to go into how now some publications have had to close shop as a result of the national lockdown. Why do you think that this is? And how has your magazine managed to stay afloat in the wake of these trying times?
Yeah, I wouldn't attribute entirely publications closing shop to the lockdown, because when I entered in the industry, the demise of the print industry was already looming. Each year we enter with like, is this the year that we all going to close shop? So I think the lockdown was kind of the final nail on the coffin, if you might put it like that, because instantly or very fast, a lot of us had to move to digital, even though digital has been, something we've been talking about, that we've been moving towards. What the lockdown has forced us to do is innovate, and quite fast. So we're hanging on, hopefully for a long time, because that's what we've been doing. It's hard for everybody. It's tough for us as well. But we're innovating, we're coming up with new ideas to work, how to connect with our readers, and I think it's happening.
Yeah, it is happening. Glamour is doing such an incredible job. I know we were speaking off camera about Boiti's cover, and the month before you had Connie Ferguson. Trailblazing time and time again. I mean, hats off to you. So as someone who seems to be doing really, really well in our eyes at Afternoon Express, do you have any advice for those in the print media industry that are struggling, don't know whether to call it quits or to trod on and keep strong?
What I can say, and what we are actually, implying or applying right now, is hang in there and innovate, learn as much as you can, because times are changing and very fast. So it's time for us to think on our feet. It's time for us to find ways to connect with our readers, to actually draw the attention of younger readers who are on social media, who are more on digital versus print. So how do we win them over? So it's time for us to be agile. It's time for us to collaborate more with brands, because most brands are done with just slapping an ad on a page, for instance. So we're looking at new ways of working, but yeah, we don't know how or what the future holds, but we just have to do our best, keep learning, innovating, and hanging in there.
And just on a very personal note, being two strong Black females from Durban, where the community thinks in the same way and almost never make it out, what message of encouragement do you have to the young girl who looks up at you and says, "Mommy, I also want to be an editor-in-chief one day"?
don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing that you can be whatever you want in your life. I mean, I sold and I used up all my savings to come to Cape Town, enough to survive 6 months. So take that step towards your dream and you'll never know.
And on that note, you will never know. Thank you so much, Nondando, for joining us today.
So much, Riley. It was a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Bye. The revolution might not be televised after all, but could be documented in a publication near you and may come sooner than we thought, with more and more industries changing their business and operational model.
To me, I'm just so glad Glamour kept their doors open, because there's nothing like a magazine in your hands and reading, and it is just so...
Flipping those pages,
I
just being
know.
able to sit on your balcony and actually flip the pages.
Yes.
It's exciting to know that they're still staying afloat.
Yes.
But also the fact that they're also restructuring and looking at ways of, getting with the
Innovation,
program.
innovation.
What are the social media people saying? What are they saying?
Guys, let me spill the tea. Okay, on social media, we've decided to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, re-entering the workplace mentally, physically, and emotionally, how prepared are you? Dineo here, she decided to put it at a strong 7. She says, I didn't realize that I actually miss my learners. So for me, the anxiety is still there, mara I enjoy being at work. Here's another one that just touched my soul, guys. Upalisa here. Upalisa Selane Uti. She's only on a number 1. She's feeling all alone and missing her family. Ladies, do you want to just send some love to Palisa's way?
Hi, Palesa, we're all thinking of you, and we love you, and I hope you're watching us.
Yeah,
and
we are your family.
Strength, love.
We are your family, Palisa. Finally, ladies, we've got someone here who is dead in the middle. Tanya Jordan says, I'm at a scale of 5. Anxious, afraid to be infected, but I guess a 5 is still pretty strong, right?
Yeah, because she must be excited to be back at work. I mean, that's one thing. I know I was excited to come back to work.
Yeah, now that we're back at work, let's keep the conversation going, South Africa. Remember to use that hashtag Afternoon Express. Now, as we've been making our way back into work, it may be difficult to get back into the groove. So coming up, we chat to clinical psychologist Ustan Jovu to get some tips on making the transition as seamless as possible. As the country moved into alert level 3 of the national lockdown, more people made their return to the workplace. And with new regulations in the workplace is not the same as we once knew it. How do we then normalize to our new normal? Clinical psychologist Tandlovu is here to put things into perspective for us. Sis Ta, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Vanessa. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Tao, more people have to go back to work with the green light on alert level 3 of the national lockdown. Now, what are some of the psychological implications of staying out of work for such a long period of time and now having to return?
During this time, well, people always stay away from work for many reasons. For sabbatical, maternity leave is quite long, it's like 4 months. But those people don't necessarily experience psychological distress just because they've stayed away from work for a long period of time. But the distinguishing factor there is the fact that those leaves or those types of staying away from work are voluntary. So people have opted to do that. And also it is planned for. They know for a fact I'm doing this and this for this duration of time. Also, there's prescribed timelines. So they know from the first of that month to the last of that month, I'll be away from work and I'll come back. But with lockdown, there's been a lot of uncertainty. People have not known when is it that I'm going back to work? How long is this going to last? That creates a lot of psychological distress. And people may start to experience a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and excessive worry. They may even experience depressive symptoms. And going back to work, for people now that it's level 3, other people may be experiencing a sense of worthlessness, feeling inadequate, feeling incompetent, feeling as though, do I even know what to do anymore because I've been away from work for such a long time? And they may want to overcompensate, so over-investing themselves in their jobs. And that may even cause burnouts because now they're trying so hard to prove that actually I still know how to do this and I still know what I'm doing. So please, just, so it does create a lot of psychological distress, and people can experience distress because now they're going back to work and they've been away for such a long period of time.
Now, it still may be a bit difficult for the most people to get back into the swing of things. So how easy is it to get back into your old routine, and how does one go about doing this?
So it's not very easy to get back to a routine, but routine is very important for mental health. Routine helps you sort of know what exactly is going to happen in a day, and that will help to counteract some feelings of stress and feelings of anxiety. So routine will help us to cope to change and create healthy boundaries. It also reduces stress levels. So slowly easing into a routine will help you create predictable scenarios, and that helps your mind sort of adjust to the change by knowing exactly what's happening in a day. So it's important that, as difficult as it is to get back to a routine straight away, but slowly ease into it so that it helps you feel better and feel more competent in what you're doing.
Now, looking at the employers, how can an employer ensure that they alleviate fears and concerns around health and safety?
I think it helps if we adhere to the recommendations given by health authorities and the government. So what we know about social distancing, hand hygiene, sanitizing, and all those things. But it's very important that employers communicate with their employees. It's important to communicate what precautions have been put in place so that employers feel safe enough and feel that their lives are being taken into consideration. It's also important for the employers to sort of communicate what expert advice are they implementing. So where are they drawing their implementation from? Who is advising them, and where are they taking their advice from? It's really important so that employers feel as though, okay, we are safe enough to work and precautions have been taken into place for us to be able to work.
So what are the social implications of new regulations, and how do these impact on people's behaviors and interactions in the workplace? And then, on another note, on their productivity?
Okay, so when we look at behavioral implications, it's very important to note that we all have one common cause, one common goal, and that's to keep the virus as away from people as possible. And while we have social cohesion and one goal, we also have organizational interests. We have personal interests. So my personal interest is that I don't get the virus. So while I protect myself, I'm protecting other people as well. So it's important to note that in the way in which we behave during this time, it has consequences not only for yourself, but for other people as well. So in the workplace, it's important that when people are in the workplace, they know that whatever it is that you are doing can impact you, your family, and even beyond your family. So when we look at behavioral implications, it's really about as you protect yourself, you're protecting other people as well, and vice versa. And also when we speak about productivity, it's important to note that with the amount of anxiety that everybody is experiencing, productivity may not be as optimal as it been in the past. But it's important to try and ease yourself into your job and into your daily routine and everything that you've been doing prior to the lockdown.
So then, Doc, on a very practical note, if someone right now is experiencing this, and I'm sure a lot of people in the country right now identify with everything and every point you've mentioned, how then do we navigate? How then do we work through all of this and find ourselves embracing the new normal?
So when people lose their jobs and they can't go to work anymore, it's not really about just making money or making a living, but also it's about what jobs offer us. They offer us a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, also social outlets, also structure in our lives. We know that from 9 to 5, I'm at my job and I'm doing this. But with the new normal and people having lost their jobs and unable to make a living and unable to provide for their families, they may find themselves experiencing a lot of sadness, anger, depressive symptoms, and most importantly, grief, because grief is a normal response to loss, and people have lost quite a lot during this time, not just their jobs, not just, but a lot of other things that we've lost during this time. So it's important to allow yourself to grieve. We are going through a collective loss where we've lost jobs, we've lost a sense of mobility, we've lost a sense of independence where you can do what you want when you want to do it. So allow yourself to grieve. Face your feelings. Don't run away from what you're experiencing. Face your feelings and allow yourself to experience your feelings. Also give yourself time to adjust. These are really unprecedented times. We've never really been prepared enough for this. We've never been prepared for this new normal. So allow yourself a bit of time to adjust to what is happening. Also, it's important to reach out for support. Sometimes people feel as though they're not coping. It's too much for them. It's overwhelming. It's important to reach out for support and try to get support wherever possible.
Thank you so much, Tha, for breaking that down for us. And more importantly, in that last note, I'm sure a lot of people were helped and taking your advice moving forward. Thank you so much, Tha.
Thank you so much, Palesa and Afternoon Express. Bye.
Cheers. Armed with all these tips and tricks, work should feel like a breeze in no time. Though losing one source of income is not an ideal situation for anyone, a positive mindset will help you have you well on your way to better opportunities. And please do connect with us on social media and let us know your thoughts on the topic. But remember to use the hashtag Afternoon Express.
You know, Anela, of all the 16 years that I've worked, this is probably the one time that I was excited to actually come to work. So I'd like to think that most people might also be happy to be going to work.
You were like a fish in water when you came work. You were like the happiest person.
I was.
I understand that as well, but there's also a bit of anxiety, though.
Yes.
Like, I've got anxiety coming to work. You're always worried. You know, I want to hug you. I can't hug you. I'm worried that I am going to be infected. You know what I'm saying? You've got these worries. And our work is brilliant. They've made all the precautions for us. You know what I'm saying? But still, I've still got to sit with a bit of anxiety.
I understand. I mean, Palesa, what about you? What do you think?
Hi, ladies, listen. This topic right now is definitely on everyone's mind because everyone is like, how do we go about re-entering the workplace? And how excited are you to do so? So we've posed it to social media and we've got Usmongile. Usmongile said, a strong 4. Some colleagues are testing positive. Guys, have you ever thought about that possibility? That there are actually some people who are in the workplace testing positive. How do you navigate that space then and have to deal with the anxiety? I suppose that's where HR comes in. True. Making sure that people are isolated and away from each other. Okay, let's keep reading here on social media. We've got Rashida who used the hashtag Afternoon Express. And Rashida says, I wish I had a job to go to. After 4 years of unemployment, my mental and emotional scale has broken and it's affecting my physical appearance. Rashida, you know, we truly understand what you're going through when your world is flipped upside down and you don't know how to navigate that space. It leaves you feeling lost.
It does. And the only thing we can hope for is that things do change and things get better. We can only just stay hopeful.
Absolutely. Here's to being hopeful and finding the silver lining. Rashida, we are with you and with all the unemployed people in South Africa right now. While some have been able to continue to work, Others have unfortunately found themselves out of work due to the ongoing pandemic. So coming up, we touch base with life coach Yumna Asen on some steps that we can take if you've been retrenched. Being retrenched is a global reality and a particularly scary one in South Africa, given the fact that our economy is under such pressure. To talk to us about what first steps to take when you've been retrenched or if you've lost your business is certified life coach and motivational speaker, Yumna Asen. Welcome to The Loft, Yumna.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited.
Us too, but we are talking about a quite serious topic. Now, Yumna, there are thousands of workers retrenched or dismissed due to COVID-19. Speak to us about what first steps to take if you've been retrenched or lost your business.
Okay, so what I would recommend is in the very beginning, getting your documentation in order for you to apply for UIF, to apply for social grants. And I know that this might be kind of hard, but also, maintaining that professional relationship with your employer, because you never know if you might need them for referrals, you might need them for some leads in the near future to get you some job opportunities. I would also recommend having a look into, some newspapers to see what is it that you can do for yourself to find some jobs. And there are a lot of companies out there that are really struggling at the moment with their business, figuring out some ways in which you can offer your services that you already have, your skill set, that they can use to their advantage right now and offer it for free. I would also recommend is that, there are businesses right now that are thriving, even though some of them are failing. There are some that are thriving, especially in the online space. Figuring out all of those years of hard work that you put into your career, how is it that you can offer that skill set to other people?
So what happens if you are a business owner who's had to close shop?
Well, what I would recommend is it's a really harsh reality when that happens, especially with all of the hard work and years that you put into building it. But I would try to figure out, well, what kind of ways can I reinvent my business? What kind of ways can I reinvent my products or my services in order to offer it to the public? And because of the whole pandemic that's happened, it's opened up new needs that need to be filled. So trying to figure out what can you do with your business to fill those demands. And if at any point you have lost your business completely, unfortunately, you can figure out, with all of those years of experience that I've had, how is it that I can offer my services to potential employers? And also signing yourself up on a freelance website, that could really help a lot.
Now, the scariest part of being retrenched or losing your business is the loss of income. So how does one tackle this?
I would say, you kind of got to start in the beginning. Take it back to basics. Sometimes we don't really have a look at our budget or our financial plan. Perhaps looking at it more in a laser sort of focus point of view to really get down to the nitty-gritty of what your financial plan looks like right now. Getting rid of some unnecessary expenses that you might have, such as some of the other streaming shows that are out there right now. Having a look into what are those unnecessary expenses and focusing more on the short-term goals. This is not the time for long-term goals, but trying to take it day by day by day.
I was about to say, when you're looking for a job, you end up having so much time on your hands. And we want to be productive in the best way possible, especially during alert level 3 of the lockdown. So what are some other productive ways to spend your time whilst looking for a new job?
I would say this is the perfect time for self-improvement, to really press that reset button, to get down to basics, to get to know yourself for who you are. And there are so many webinars going on at the moment, and a lot of online courses, some of them for free, absolutely for free, to really upgrade your knowledge, to upgrade your skills. And you know what? It's fine if you don't have any access to internet. You can look into getting some self-help books or business books, or borrowing it from a friend or a family member, and looking at some articles in the newspapers in the career section to figure out some more tips on how to take yourself to the next level.
Yumna, so you've mentioned quite frequently looking through the newspaper for job opportunities. What other opportunities, or rather ways, can people seek out new employment?
So I would say something else that you could have a look at is to go online. A lot of people are rebranding themselves online, and there are a lot of recruiters looking for people with your skill set and working with a recruitment agent or an employment agency to help you hone in on your skills so that they can match your skill set to the potential employer that is really good for you.
So besides looking at the internet and the web, how does word of mouth play a role? I mean, physically, people can't do what they used to do back in the day, carrying their CV and knocking door to door.
Yeah, so that is actually a big one. Word of mouth is huge, because there is a saying that goes, your network is your net worth.
Amen,
so tapping into that network that you have in place. And I don't know if you've ever heard of 3 degrees of separation, but there are people, if you just look to the sides, you don't even need to look way ahead, but looking to the sides, to your colleagues that you used to work with, to your friends, to your family, they actually know people that could help you in your job search, that could get your foot into the door.
Yumna, thank you so much. That has helped me truly, and advising those around me who find themselves unemployed. And I'm sure a lot of South Africans at home are truly benefiting right now. We appreciate you giving us these tips and tricks as to how to bounce back if we find ourselves retrenched and without work during this pandemic. We appreciate it, Yumna.
Thank you so much for your time.
Connect with us on social media and let us know, are you finding yourself in these unfortunate situations, and how are you bouncing back?
To me, it's so sad to be retrenched. I was retrenched 17 years ago, and I had to reinvent myself completely. And the first thing I had to do is to list what I'm good at. And you must know you can reinvent yourself if you know what you're good at. I was good at cooking.
And look at you now.
Sally, come in.
Oh, I kind of like that. God, Anele. Hayibo, Anele, I love learning new things about you. So you found yourself in a position where many other South Africans right now find themselves where you're without a job and you need to reinvent yourself. Speaking about reinventing themselves, a lot of South Africans right now are reinventing their place in the workplace. And we've got Uzosbini. Uzosbini Uti, on a scale of 5, you know, she's feeling also lukewarm, in the middle there somewhere, especially being at school as a matriculant. It's really scaring during this pandemic. And that's something that we touched on last week. You know, last week we spoke about kids being re-entered into the schooling system and the curriculum and the kind of nerves that they are faced with. We've got another person here, Irene, and Irene says they're feeling 6, at a level 6. I'm scared of being infected because I've been working since lockdown because I've had to save people's lives out there, and I'm the breadwinner also. I'm assuming Irene wanted to say I'm the breadwinner. So I appreciate the fact that you're still able to provide for your family, but you know, a 6 also isn't that strong. So ladies, how do you feel about that?
I think more than anything, let's give props to her for going out there and actually doing her job and saving lives. We appreciate that. But more than anything, man, just, I think, going with the flow.
Okay.
Letting it, you work, you're back at work, take the positive and try and, you know, filter out the negative.
Yeah, taking it a day at a time, absolutely. That's to you, Irene. Now, ravioli, a little pasta pockets of delight, surrounded by a delicious filling that warms up the soul. Coming up, we show you our delicious take on a ravioli with feta cheese and spinach filling. Mwah, sounds magnifique.
Express yourself.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Happy Monday, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. It is a beautiful Monday today, and we hope we can bring some joy to your faces and to your lives with our delicious recipe today.
Yes, I'm excited.
Feta and spinach ravioli.
Yes. What are you doing?
Well, today I'm going to be making the filling, and you, our pasta master, will be showing us how to make the pasta from scratch.
Yes.
Well, take it away. I'm going to just get ready with our filling.
So pasta is just, I've got a cup of flour here.
Okay.
And it's just the most joyful thing to do is to make your own pasta. And it's just need a cup of flour and 1 egg. So I'm just going to break the egg. You make like a little well.
Okay.
You don't have to klits it, and then you start working it in like that. And I've learned this from an Italian mama.
Okay, so
Roma.
There's no competing here. You are the master.
And then you just try and bring the dough together with a fork. I do it with a fork and eventually with your hands. But choose what's in your, while I'm busy with this, what's going to be in your
Filling. So
yes.
right now I've started with our onions, and I'm using red onions this time because I want that sweetness from them to come through. Yes, normal onions would have worked, but because of the kind of recipe I'm making, I want there to be a balance of the salty and the sweet from the actual filling itself. So we're starting with the onions that we've just sauteed, and then I go in with my spinach, which is going to be the main part of the filling. And then because we're going to be using feta, we don't need a lot of salt in this filling.
Yeah.
I'm literally not even going to add any salt. The salt is going to come from the feta cheese itself, which we're using our clover feta, which is nicely flavored, balance of flavor right there. And it's great because it's high in calcium, so it's great for us. High in vitamins and minerals. It's perfect for any dish. You can use it for spinach ravioli like I've got here. You can use it in a salad. You could use it anywhere you'd like, actually. I've seen some people doing amazing things, making a cheese sandwich and actually putting feta in it.
I love it. I love melted cheese, like especially melted feta. It's brilliant.
Really?
Choose what I like about it is the feta and the spinach combination. That is like it's like one of those wonderful things.
And I was actually thinking about you because we missed you on Friday. So when I thought about it, I was like, Anala is coming back on Monday. She's vegetarian. Let's give her something that she'll definitely enjoy. So this here is for you.
That's great.
All right, so I'm going to just add all the ingredients here. The last thing I'm going in with is our nutmeg, because we still want a bit of additional flavor from other seasonings, yes? And anyone who'd like this recipe, please do feel free to go on the website. Whether you're vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan, anything, you'll be covered. We've got all the recipes on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. And then join in the fun. All these recipes are not only delicious, but they're also fun to make. So I've gone in with our spinach there, and the one thing I do is whenever I cook my spinach, I don't cook it through too much. I like to leave that crunch in there. So because this is part of the base, I'm going to leave this and then go in with the rest of our ingredients. You're making the pasta there, and you're going to give me the filling, but in the actual pasta dough itself. So let me switch that off.
So when the pastas come together, Tooms, then you just knead it. And there's different way of kneadings, but anyway, and then you rest it for about, say, an hour in the fridge.
Okay.
And then my favorite kitchen equipment is my pasta machine.
Yes,
I bought this about 17, 18 years ago as well.
Okay.
And it is still as new. And you never wash it. Do you know that? You
Oh,
never
really?
wash it. Yeah, it is just flour. So we're going to start on number one. It's got numbers here, and that is the widest pasta thing. And then you just turn it, and then what you do, you need to put a bit of flour over it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's thick. Now I'm going to put it on number two.
While you're doing that, I just want to show you quickly here. You remember when we were doing the brown butter last week? This is it. It's not burnt, it's brown butter. So it gives off that caramelly flavor. So what I've got in here is I've got our sage that I just put in, and then I'm going in with some salt and pepper. And then I'm going to go in with some cream. This is the sauce for our dish. So you know with any pasta dish, the sauce makes the dish.
Absolutely. No, the pasta makes the dish, Tooms. What are you talking about? It's my pasta.
I'm a saucy pasta kind of girl. So for our filling, I've just put it on the side. What we want to do is we want it to chill, and then we add our feta to it. So I've got a mixture that I've already made earlier on. So we were using our feta cheese. I just crumble a bit of this into our mixture.
I'm bringing your pasta just now.
No worries, take your time. The sauce is reducing. It's nice and brown. It's nice and salty from the salt. And then I'm gonna go in with a bit of pepper here as well.
That's delicious.
And there we go. So the filling is ready. I'm waiting for my pasta master to let me know once that's ready.
And if you can see
the
yourself
sauce is
through the
ready.
pasta, you must know it's perfect.
Okay, whatever you say, master, I believe.
There you go.
Awesome. So I'm gonna go over here and get the pasta ravioli sheets done. Let me move our plate over here. You've made a nice long pasta train for us.
Yes.
And all you do for the filling is literally, depending on how much you want on your inside your ravioli, you just put a little mountain over there. You were showing me this earlier, that you like to just do them all at once instead of one by one. So I'm going to follow your trick because we want to be as efficient as possible. And then after that, you just fold it over.
No. You must first wash it.
Just wanted to check if you...
it's going to fall apart.
Of course, because it won't close, it won't seal, and
it
all
won't
that you put
seal.
inside there is basically going to...
So that is just like a water wash that you put around the pasta. So when you fold the pasta over, that the two pasta sheets stick together. Yes. There you go.
Paying attention. All right, then I'm going to seal these together.
And remember, you must seal it like this to get all the air out. Otherwise, it makes a big bubble and it floats on top or it breaks open.
Yes, which defeats the whole purpose of what you were doing in the first place.
Exactly.
And then we just use our hands to cut our little pasta ravioli pockets. And then I'm going to seal it to make sure that it's completely sealed with a little fork.
That's how they do it in Italy. It's like very rustic, very simplistic. And this is like an egg and flour and a few fresh ingredients.
And you've got all of this in your house.
Yes.
And you can cook this recipe for your friends and family in less than 20 minutes. Perfect recipe. Find it on the website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and you're sorted.
Exactly. And you can make extra pasta, hang it on my washing line, that's where I dry mine, and give it to your friends.
Can you
Say,
freeze
come
it?
for supper, yes.
Palisa, we're bringing you supper. I hope you're hungry. It is a Monday. Hope you are hungry.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Come on over, ladies. You've promised me dinner and I am hungry. Please put it on right here. As you ladies find your seats around the table, you know, I love our social media because there's a true sisterhood going on there. There's this family type vibe. So we've got Colleen here who is responding to Irene from earlier. Or Colleen says, hi, beautiful ladies. I love you and the show. Irene, Faith. Go, girl, go. Irene, you will be in my prayers, and you lovely ladies, I can't wait. Have a blessed evening. Thank you so much, Colleen, for that message. It truly does touch us to see every one of our viewers connecting on social media. You don't even need us to be here. You've got your own party going on, but it is indeed correct. You know, a lot of people are doing, dish up for yourself, girl. A lot of people are going through the most, so thank you so much for standing together in prayer and in encouragement, motivating this Monday. Thank you, ladies, again. Mwah. For bringing the food.
It is a beautiful Monday, and I hope that we've brought some joy to a lot of people's homes. Even though we're facing tough times, positivity.
Yes.
Positivity. On that note, join us tomorrow as we take an in-depth look at what cyberbullying is and its effect on mental health and well-being with larger-than-life YouTuber Lasizwe Ndambuza. Until then, good night, stay safe, and happy eating, South Africa.
Yes, South Africa.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Nada. Feel Good production.